The wait is over. Season 8 of the HPT is here. We're at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room here in sunny Daytona, Florida. Hundreds of players joined us for our Season 8 launch, generating a prize pool worth just over $400,000. The action this week was heated with pros Tiffany Michelle, Maria Ho, and HPT Tour Ambassador Darvin Moon. Now, after thousands of hands played and thousands of heartbreaking rivers, we have our Elite Six. Among them is an HPT final table veteran that is running white hot on the HPT and a 20-year-old poker pro playing well beyond his years. 6 have a shot at over $105,000, but only one will prevail. The HPT's Season 8 opener is on.
My name's Troy Wallace. I'm 26 years old.
Hi, my name's Barry Hutter from South Florida. I'm Joseph Chalbaud. I'm 20. I'm from Lake Mary, Florida, and I'm a student.
I am Enos Smith. I have a franchise bumperman business.
My name is Michael McDonald. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hi, I'm Tony Lay. I'm from Oklahoma City. I play poker professionally. The old guys, they play pretty much ABC when they bet if they've got. The younger guys, they like to 3-bet light a lot.
I guess I'm pretty aggressive. I'm just going to try to choose my spots and hopefully win.
The players are super nice. You've got the young that are aggressive, and I'm going to do what I've done the whole tournament. I'm just going to be very steady, and I'm going to play the big hands. I'm not going to try to do anything fancy.
No, I'm not necessarily going to avoid anybody. My biggest fear is that I do something stupid, so the biggest opponent I have is myself.
They come from all walks of life, each with a story to tell. All they need is a chip and a chair. It's an open casting call for those who love the game. This ain't your weekend home game. This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. And I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama, cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello and welcome to Season 8 of the HPT. I'm Chris Hansen, and by my side is a gentleman who thought that Rise of the Planet of the Apes was a documentary. He's Fred Bevel.
If you knew my in-laws, that'd make a lot more sense.
Well, Fred, in 2005, when this poker circus started, did you still think we'd be a part of it on Season 8?
No, I did not. I thought by the way we party on the road, one of us would be doing 5 to 10 somewhere by now. But despite our doctors and our wives, here we are in Daytona Beach celebrating Season 8.
The Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room is our new Florida home, and what a welcome mat they have put out for us. This 50-table poker room hosted hundreds of HPT hopefuls this week, and now we have our final 6 ready to battle it out for our first title in season number 8 and the $105,000 in cash that goes with it.
And we have all the ingredients you want in a final table to make some great drama. One player has been here before and is running white hot on the HPT. One isn't old enough to get into a bar, and another collects antique soda machines. All 6 have threatening stacks, and all 6 have the skill to use them.
Let's meet one half of this final table and then get to the action as we start Season 8 of the HPT.
I'm Joseph Chalbaud. I'm 20. I'm from Lake Mary, Florida, and I'm a student.
Hi, my name's Barry Hutter from South Florida. I'm a professional poker player.
My name's Troy Wallace. I'm 26 years old. I grew up in Gainesville, Florida, and I currently live in Daytona Beach, Florida.
I've been playing for about 5 years, 3 years professionally. I probably play poker about 3 times a week. I don't really have a job. I'm just a student, so it's definitely a big part of my life.
I've been playing poker for 6 years, roughly. It's a pretty big part of my life. I dropped out of school to pursue making money at poker, and I've been doing that ever since, and it takes up a lot of my time, so it's definitely a huge part of my life.
I mean, I play pretty much every day. I'm at it all the time. It's constant grind, so pretty big. It's my main focus right now. I think that there's definitely weak spots at the table, but I think over half of the table is pretty strong. They're pretty good.
I mean, there's some good players left in the field, but I mean, I like my chances. I'm short stack, but anything can happen.
We'll meet the other 3 players as we move along at this final table, but this is what they all want, $105,000 in cash. The first person leaving tonight walks with just over $20K.
And here is how our final table is stacked tonight, Chris. Tony Lay is the chip leader with 76 big blinds, 27% of the chips in play. Our short stack right now is Barry, only 10% of the chips in play, but you can see 27 big blinds left in the stack, no reason to panic.
Blinds start out tonight at $15,000 and $30,000 with a $5K ante. Enos is under the gun in first act with 8-6 offsuit. That goes to the muck. Over to Michael. He folds. Joey folds to Barry. Barry's going to raise to 60K with ace deuce of spades.
Just a min raise from the button here, and now Troy Wallace peels back ace 7. I'll tell you right now, Chris, buckle up. That 1, 2, and 3 seat, very aggressive. Not afraid to push the action around.
Well, apparently not. Troy has announced a raise out of the small blind with his ace 7. He makes it 140K.
And Tony Lay, a veteran of the final table, is going to fold queen jack suited.
Tony making his second final table appearance on the HPT.
And now action back to Barry with his suited ace. 80,000 to call to see a flop here. And you will have position after the flop.
Well, Fred, you called. You said these players are going to be very aggressive in the 1, 2, and 3 seed. How about this? Barry re-raising all in with his suited ace, and action is now back to Troy for $670,000.
A lot of players on the HPT would have thrown this hand into the muck by now, but Troy and Barry have played together a lot throughout this weekend. They know what each other's capable of. He just might pull the trigger here.
Troy is going to fold, and Barry is going to take it down. And Fred, sometimes poker is about telling a story. You min-raised on the button, which shows weakness, but then the small blind raises, and you re-raise them all in. All of a sudden, the story makes absolutely no sense. You don't know what to do. Best thing to do, lick your wounds, throw the cards to the muck. King 7 for Tony. This time he folds. Over to Enos.
Enos Smith is into collecting antique soda machines in his spare time. Where do you put them? Got to take up a lot of space in the house.
And where do you find the soda to put in those antique machines? These are all questions we can maybe ask him when we're off the air, Fred.
I was going to say, go to the convenience store. You can buy soda anywhere.
I don't know if 20
I think the
ounces.
space issue is more important than where you're going to get the soda.
Again, we could discuss anything right straight into the ground. Let's get back to the poker. Joey raises to 60K with 5 deuce offsuit. Troy calls with king 9 of diamonds.
Not a lot of big raises pre-flop here. 3 hands, 3 min raises.
And the flop is 8, queen 9, rainbow.
Troy hits the best of this with second pair. Joey with just 5 high here.
Troy checks. Joey's grabbing for chips.
He's going to fire 75,000 at this. And Troy with second pair has got to be thinking, well, let's raise it, see what happens. But he's not. He's just going to make the call.
And the turn is a 4 of hearts.
No help for Joey. Troy still with the best hand, and he's checking again.
Some more plaques coming out. 125,000 is the bet.
Troy still with second pair. I don't think he's buying what Joey's trying to sell here. He is going to smooth call.
2 ounces, a call.
And now here comes the river. It's a jack, so Troy still ahead with his pair of 9s. He's going to be first to act.
Joey checks, move over to Joe.
And he checks for a third time. Joey would be wise to just shut it down right now with 5 deuce. Unless you want to win the pot, because the only way you're going to do that with a bluff is to fire one more time on the river.
Let's see if it's enough. This time he fires 220,000.
220,000 is the bet.
He has fired on every street. Troy has just been check calling all the way.
The jack could be a scary card on the river for Troy. Maybe made a straights. Now there's 2 cards that are higher than his pair of 9s, and he has to fold. And so Joey fires that bet on the river. The only way he's going to take it down is to do exactly what he did. More poker from Florida when we come back on the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT at Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room in Daytona, Florida. I'm Chris Hansen. He's Fred Bevel.
You know, we are only a few hands into this final table, and we've already seen that these guys are not afraid to push their chips around.
We've already met Joe, Barry, and Troy. Now let's meet the rest of the players at this final table.
I am Enos Smith. I have a franchise bumper man business.
My name is Michael McDonald. Currently, I'm a consultant, an IT consultant, and working at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Hi, I'm Tony Lay. I'm from Oklahoma City. I play poker professionally. I'm always confident in my skill level. That really is not really an issue. I don't have a lot of experience with these particular guys. There are a few young, aggressive players in the group that, you know, I feel like I've got a little bit of read on them. The older guys generally, you know, they play pretty much ABC, is from what I can understand.
I have some superstitions. I have a hat that I wear. I'll be wearing it today, but wearing it backwards for this event. I have a certain card protector that I like to carry. That's superstitious stuff.
My hobby is I collect rare soda machines, so I have a few in the garage that I'll be restoring. The important thing is not the quantity, it's the rarity, and I have a few that are extremely rare. A soda machine, it's very hard to duplicate. So as a collector, I don't have to worry about, is this the real thing or not? And they're absolutely gorgeous when they first came out. It's like somebody that has a classic car, and he's restored it to however it was when it came out of Detroit. They look pretty good.
All the players going after that $105,000 payday. And let's take a look at the chip count. Tony is still our chip leader with 2.6 million in chips. Mike right now sits as our short stack.
Mike still with 29 big blinds in his stack. Nothing to freak out about yet. The new HPT structure has been embraced by our players. They love it. As we can see, more room to play at this final table.
29 big blinds is plenty of play here at this final table.
I don't think you've ever had 29 big blinds in your stack at all.
I don't think so. How many do you normally start with?
Like 1,000, but, you know.
I quickly find myself under 20 in a blink of an eye.
Joey min raises one more time here with King Jack. And Barry is going to re-raise here with Jack 7. Are these guys at all aware of that the rankings of these hands aren't as good as those bets?
Well, you said right away, Fred, that 1, 2, and 3 were the 3 seats that would push the action at this final table.
They're young, they're aggressive, they're fearless. Tough players to play against. And look at this. Joey re-raises again to 320,000.
The re-raise now by seat 1.
We've seen a 4-bet here pre-flop with King Jack and Jack 7.
Action's back to Barry. Not only are these players very aggressive, apparently, Fred, I did not get the memo on this, but it is gray hooded sweatshirt day at our final table.
It's a new standard issue fatigue when you start to play poker. You get your professional poker player card, you get a gray hoodie sweatshirt.
Okay, I'm not aware. I need to keep up on that.
That and headphones that don't fit your head.
And Barry, instead of calling, goes all in with Jack 7.
And he's asked for a count.
The aggression just keeps getting more and more violent here, Fred, at this final table.
Well, that is going to polarize Barry's hand. He's either got a monster or he's got what he actually has, which is Jack High. The real key here is Joey only has king high. You need to have a premium hand when you're going to be 5-bet all in here. That's so close.
Question is Joey deep enough in this pot to commit another $615,000? I would say no. He still has a good portion of chips left behind to play with. But, man, it would be one heck of a call, but he decides to fold. And so Barry with Jack-7 is making my counterpart look like a genius here, Fred, that the aggression is coming from the 1, 2, and 3 seed at this final table.
3-betting, 4-betting. These kids are crazy.
As we move along here, blinds are 15 and 30,000 with a 5K Annie. Michael McDonald under the gun in first act.
No relation to the singer, at least as far as I know.
I bet she's a huge fan, though. I mean, they have the same name. Why wouldn't you be a big fan?
Celebrate his whole catalog. Joey folds over to Barry. And it's another min raise here pre-flop at this final table. Barry's going to make it $60,000 to go.
You know, sometimes players just get stuck on making the same raise, and then everyone else just kind of follows suit. That's kind of what's going on here, except it goes min raise and then like a 5-bet after that. Right. They haven't really figured out the progression. It goes from very small to very large in the blink of an eye.
Well, Troy Wallace has ace-6, and he has announced a raise.
So we're going from 60,000 to what, 700,000 or 800,000? Okay, no, just 135. It's another min raise, basically.
Tony Lay is next to act. He's got queen-6 offsuit. He's going to step aside. Back to Barry.
Something tells me that calling really isn't in Barry's repertoire.
I don't think it's in Barry or Troy's repertoire.
Put Joey in that same group. I don't think there's much calling that likes to be done from these three players.
Why call when you can always raise?
Why put this small stack in when I can put all of them in?
Well, it doesn't look like Barry is going anywhere.
He's grabbing even more chips, and sure enough, let's go ahead. Re-raise it, 305,000. Action back to Troy. And I kind of get the feeling that with these players, there is no middle ground. It's either I'm going to raise or I'm going to fold. There is no call in their vocabulary.
I don't think Troy is surprised that Barry re-raised him here. He was probably expecting it, actually. Question is, can Troy pull the trigger with a 5-bet all in?
Thing is, with a hand like ace-6, you're either really crushed or you're slightly behind. I mean, it's like ace-6 is a tough hand to make a call with here.
They're just pushing each other around to see who's going to cry uncle first.
Like a high-stakes game of poker chicken here going on at the Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. All in.
Troy does pull the trigger, goes all in. Barry insta-mucks.
Troy takes down a monster pot, and it looks like Barry was the first one to blink there in that staring contest. More shoving when we come back here on the HPT at Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Welcome back to the HPT in Daytona, Florida. Let's take a look at what goes into making these dogs run awfully fast around this track.
Hello, my name is Lance LaFreniere. I'm the owner and trainer of Soul Runner Racing here at Daytona Beach Kennel Club. I'd like to take you through a day of a greyhound's life in a racing circuit here at Daytona Beach Kennel Club. His name is WIKI Happy Feet. Is the dog I'd like to talk about. He's in the feature race tonight at Daytona Beach. He's in the 4th race, the 6th-hole position, and this is how his day begins. Well, the first thing we do is we unload him out of the truck. We walk him if he needs to relieve himself, and we find his tag on the tag board for the race he's in, clip it to his collar, and then we wait in line, and then we put him across the scale to verify his weight status, that it's legal in the eyes of the racing committee. There's 1.5 pound leeway either up or down, and they have to fall in between that range. And then he walks through to go to his crate inside the ginny pit where he's located before his race starts. Greyhounds are quite amazing animals. They, in a lot of respects, they're the 2nd fastest land animal on Earth. second only to the cheetah. Greyhound in 3 strides, the greyhound can reach a speed of 43 miles per hour. By watching them on the track with the naked eye, it's hard to see planting of the feet on the ground, but actually in slow-mo, you will see that at every stride, all paws are fully extended as each stride is produced. After the race, the lead-outs will gather the dogs in the escape turn where they stop, and they'll then be walked off the track. I will then take him, bathe him, clean his eyes if he has any sand in his eyes, trim his nails if it needs to be done, walk him out, cool him, give him water. That's about it, and I'll wait for the next one to come. Today, we talked about WIKI Happy Feet and a day in the life in the Greyhound racing career, and he ran 4th tonight. He had a little bump in the first turn, but he recovered and came back nicely. That's his style. He's gets in trouble and keeps coming back.
Fred, how much longer are we going to be? I've got a boxed 3, 4, and 6 dog coming up here in just a moment.
You can step out anytime, man. Those races are going all
outside
day.
the track and a little action out there. As that has been this entire final table, Tony still our chip leader.
Blinds remain at 15 and 30,000 with a 5K ante. It's folded around to Tony.
75.
Tony's going to raise it up here to 75,000 with suited connectors.
Speaking of suited connectors, King, Queen of Spades for Enos.
That's my hand.
Enos throws in 3 of the blue plaques, each one of those worth 25,000 for the call. King 6 for Michael.
It's 45 more to me.
45 more.
Joey's thinking that's it.
Only 45,000. Oh, look at this. I've got suited 5-9. Of course I'm playing this hand.
Joey makes the call.
Barry and Troy both snicker because he just called instead of raising.
Big pot here pre-flop, 270,000.
And the flop is 9, Queen, Ace.
Well, Enos flops second pair. Both Joey and Tony hit the 9.
I'm all in.
And they both check. Enos says, fine, I'm all in.
Enos is going to find out right quick if there's an ace in these guys' hand. The fact that Tony is in the tank has got to make him feel pretty good.
The all-in is 440,000. Well, the inventory has started, and Fred, the call has been made.
Tony's not going to like what he sees. He is dominated.
My question is, when Tony made the call, what exactly did he put him on? Enos raised pre-flop. You had to be putting him on some kind of premium cards.
Well, the fate is in the cards right now. Tony has made the call with bottom pair. He's discovered that he needs a lot of help. And there it is.
Oh, way to go, Fred. Enos just, the look on his face says it all. Thanks. You had to say he needs a lot of help. Delivers on the turn. And now it is Enos who's looking for a king, a queen, or an ace on the river to stay alive. And here comes the river.
Boom!
Ace comes on the river, and now Tony is looking at me saying, thanks for calling the outs there, buddy. Well, how about that? The man who started out with the best hand, Fred, ends up winning. Are you kidding? That's not how it's supposed to work.
He took the beat on the turn and then gave a beat on the river, and it's Enos that is doubling up. And for Tony Lay's chip stack, just a flesh wound.
Michael McDonald is going to be first act here in the 6th seed, Jack 7. I'm going to be folding.
Are you going to be quoting Mike McDonald songs all night long?
I don't know what you're talking about. Joey folds over to Barry. Barry raises to 60K. Another min raise with ace deuce. Queen jack for Troy.
Troy doesn't have much left behind him. He'll be looking for a spot to get them all in the middle.
This might be it. Well, I think Troy's probably going to get all the chips in the middle here because he knows that Barry's probably going to call him, even if Barry's just looking down at a Chinese restaurant menu and a Magic the Gathering card.
He could throw out a Black Lotus, but he needs to tap 2 colorless mana for upkeep, and he doesn't have that.
Action's going to be on Tony. He will fold after Troy does get all the chips in the middle.
Enos is going to fold.
Action's coming back to Barry. He calls with ace high. And Troy will be at risk and will be behind going to the flop.
Troy's hoping to get lucky here with a queen or a jack. Barry hoping to fade it and eliminate the first player from our final table.
And kids at home, let Troy teach you a lesson here. This is no limit poker. 1 minute, plenty of chips. Next minute, hoping. The flop is 8-8-5. Queen jack still behind ace deuce.
Barry hoping for an ace on the turn here to just shut the door right now.
Go ahead and see the turn card, please.
And the turn is a jack.
Troy pulls ahead. And now it'll be Barry hoping to find an ace on the river to knock him out.
Now let's go ahead and see the river card.
And the river is a 7, and so Troy is going to double up. All right, kids, just because it worked out for Troy doesn't mean it will for you at your home game. More poker when we come back to the state of Florida with Troy freshly doubled up on the HPT. Thanks for coming back to the HPT with Fred Bevel. I'm Chris Hansen. Season 8, kicking it up a notch. Your poker skills are about to go to the next level this season on the HPT. Pro tips from a gentleman you will definitely recognize. 11-time bracelet winner and 1989 World Series of Poker champion Phil HELLMUTH will be joining us on the HPT this year. And Fred, tonight we get started with trouble hands at the poker table.
Okay, the two biggest trouble hands to avoid in a tournament. Ace Queen. That darn Ace Queen, man. It's cost me a lot of money. It's cost a lot of players a lot of money. You play Ace Queen, you get a lot of chips in the middle. What is your opponent likely to have? You know, when you're talking about 30, 40 big blinds. Well, Ace King, all right, you're drawing to a queen. Kings, all right, you're drawing to an ace. Aces, all right, you're drawing to a miracle. So Ace Queen is one of the real trouble hands, and I would also say King Queen is a trouble hand. Too often someone it'll come Queen 3 deuce or King 3 deuce. Too often with someone with King Queen loses all their chips or way too many chips on a hand like that. So King Queen can get you in a lot of trouble. Ace Queen can get you in a lot of trouble. You know, of course, when you get down to 2 or 3 handed, Ace Queen can be a hand that you do have to put all your chips in with. But throughout the tournament, the two biggest trouble hands, King Queen and Ace Queen. Be careful.
Joey is our new chip leader as Tony finds himself now in second place with $2.3 million to Joey's $2.8 million.
The short stacks are Barry and Troy with just 18 and 10 big blinds in their stack, respectively. They're going to have to start doing some moving.
Blinds are up to 20 and 40,000. Barry folds over to Troy. He will fold quickly to Tony. Mr. Lay looks down at pocket fives, making his second appearance at an HPT final table, finished 6th at an event at Downstream Casino in Oklahoma, his home state.
He's going to make it 100,000 to go with his wired fives, and Enos Smith wakes up with Big Slick.
Enos doubled up through Tony a little bit ago, and he is going to make the call with Ace King.
Kind of surprised he didn't re-raise it there.
Well, Freddie's not part of the 1, 2, and 3 seed I don't know how to call party.
Mike McDonald folds, and now it is Joey with wired 9s.
Joey will show you how to do it.
He is probably going to raise, I'm just guessing.
I will bet my house and yours he is going to make it at least 400,000 here.
Looks like a re-raise.
Pretty not close. It's 290,000 as the re-raise.
I should have known the min raise was coming.
And now over to Tony, who started this action. He's got a wired pair of fives, but he'd be going right into the lion's den with an overpair and the best drawing hand in poker against him.
Okay.
So Tony's going to call, and now over to Enos.
Enos can't fold. In fact, if I'm Enos, I just go ahead and get them all in right here.
Yeah, usually with the kind of raises that we've seen from Joey, Barry, and Troy, it's not the first raise that's the big one. I guess it's the second, third, fourth, and fifth raises that have been substantial.
Enos makes the call. We're going 3-way to the flop here.
Almost 1 million chips already in this pot. And the flop is 4, 6, 9.
Joey hits top set, giving him a hammerlock on this hand. He was ahead going into the flop, but now he's really got it.
And if you're Tony, you might think that's not a bad flop for pocket fives either. Joey's grabbing checks. He's ready to bet.
Joey, of course he's going to bet. He would have done this with any 2 cards, except this time he's doing it with top set. He's so active, it's hard to put him on a hand here. He just might get paid.
Pocket fives from Tony will fold. I think that was the only opportunity to get a call here. I don't think that Enos is going to call the 300,000. And Joey's pocket nines were ahead going to the flop, way ahead on the flop. Fred, I guess his overactivity at this final table will not get him paid on this particular hand.
Unfortunately for Joey, he was playing two very conservative players here. Tony is not going to go all in with a baby pair, and Enos, he's not going to marry ace-king either, unlike you.
Oh, what do you gotta put that in there for?
Just saying he called.
What did I do to you?
Nothing, except, well.
Well, you had ace-king, I had ace-6. I hit the 6. That's just the way it goes.
Still bitter. $1,100 later.
Michael McDonald is making a raise here with 6-7 of spades.
Makes it $100,000 to go. Action moving over to Joey. And Joey is going to fold over to Barry Hutler now. And Barry is all in with wired 8s. Troy folds, and now the action's back over to Michael. He's only got $245,000 to make the call. He decides not to, and Barry is going to pick up a much-needed pot.
Well, it's some bad times here for Michael McDonald at this final table. Really hasn't gotten involved at all. Every time he has gotten involved, the other end of the table has come over the top, and he's been forced to lay his hands down.
Not a recipe for winning poker. This time he has ace-queen, and he doesn't have a whole lot to play with. He's going to make it $100,000 to go. Action over to Joey.
And Joey's got pocket jacks.
And Joey eyeing the inventory of Michael's stack.
I have a feeling we're going to be playing for a lot more than $100K.
He is going to re-raise it to $300,000, and that's going to clear the field. Barry folds, Troy folds, Tony quickly folds.
And action is on Enos. Pocket nines.
Ooh, this could be trouble for Enos. Wow, he folded.
Well, no trouble if they go into the muck. Michael McDonald moves all in. Joey makes the call. And so Mike's going to be all in. There's no looking back now.
I'm still kind of surprised Enos folded the wire 9s there.
Well, knowing what we know, it was a good fold. Here's the flop. It's Jack 8 deuce. Wow.
Great flop for Joey. Hits top set, but he's not out of the woods yet. Mike's hit some backdoor outs.
Why can't you have more chips, man? Why could I?
And the turn is another 8. That's going to give Joey the full boat, and that is going to give Mike the exit. In the blink of an eye, he is eliminated. Ace-queen. Fred, in that situation, he's probably thinking, I got to try. I got to give it a try, and didn't work out for him. Pocket jacks. Take it down.
Sixth place, I'm a little disappointed. I won't say it's been a lot of fun. It's been great. Getting here was great. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little disappointed. I keep getting text messages from my kids. They're already spending it. So I at this point I'm not sure what they want to spend it on, but I'm sure they'll have it spent somehow.
We'll continue on our road to a championship, 5-handed, next on the HPT.
Well, they've improved the structure a lot since the last HPT I played. I went deep in the last one here in Daytona Beach, and since then I just noticed the tournament structure has got way better, so I'll definitely be interested in playing future HPTs for that reason.
It's definitely been a great experience with HPT. I like the structure. I like everything about it so far. This would be my favorite poker memory. This is definitely the biggest tournament I've played in.
Everybody's been friendly. The staff here has been friendly. Everybody's taken care of it well. Haven't really had any complaints at all. So,
I like the event. I like the way it's run. I targeted that for a good long weekend.
Super excited. Everybody here has been super friendly, as they always are at Daytona. It's a great tournament. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Fred, a lot of players, once they discover the HPT, finds it's easy to join, hard to leave. You can come to one event, next thing you know, you're at 2 or 3, and we do have a pretty darn good time on the HPT.
Joey is the dominant chip leader right now with over 50% of the chips in play. Blinds are 20 and 40 with a 5K ante.
7 deuce for Troy. He will fold. Tony will fold. Over to Enos.
Enos with ace-10 is going to call. Enos not much of a pre-flop raiser. We didn't see him re-raise with Big Slick earlier. Here he is opening the pot with just a limp with ace-10.
And the flop is deuce 5 queen with a couple of clubs.
Well, Barry gets the best of this. He flops top pair. Joey gets a piece of it with bottom pair. Enos, the original raiser, whiffs this flop, but he is going to bet. Throws out 60,000. Enos, if you're going to bet, make a bet, my man.
Joey folds over to Barry.
Barry with top pair here is going to try to figure out how to get value from the extremely tight Enos Smith.
He's going to start with a raise. He makes it 195,000, so 135,000 to call.
Enos quickly folds.
Well, there was no more chips to be had for Barry after Enos bet the 60,000. That's all he was willing to get into that pot. As we continue playing here for $105,000 and our first championship of Season 8 on the HPT.
Action this hand will start with Enos Smith. He's got connecting cards that go into the muck.
Joey's going to raise it with ace-8. Barry bows out over to Troy. He will do the same now to Tony. 6-4 diamonds for Tony Lay. Might be interested in seeing a flop here. Suited gap connectors.
They can be sneaky.
And so here we go. The two biggest stacks at the table will butt heads. The flop is Jack, Ace, 9.
Joey gets the best of this flop with the ace. And he is going to check through it, trying to get Tony into a trap here.
Here's the turn. It's a 4. So now Tony has a pair of 4s.
He is going to check, and Joey obliges.
And here comes the river. The river is a deuce. Tony's first. He checks.
Joey's going to fire a little something out here to try to get a call from Tony. 130,000, please, Mr. Lay. And it's just too tempting. Tony cannot fold a pair against this guy. Why would he? He's going to make the call and find out that Joey, once again, does indeed have the best of it.
I have a hunch that Tony was thinking the same thing I was while this hand played out. Why isn't Joey betting? If he did hit the ace, how come he's not betting it on the flop or the turn? Why does he keep checking? So in the end, Tony must have been thinking, I have a sneaking suspicion he has absolutely nothing here. He was wrong. He did make the pair of aces. And so our chip leader is now stacking even more chips in front of him.
All right, button is on the 1 seat.
Tony's going to be first act on this hand.
Will be Tony.
9-4 is folded. Over to Enos. King 8. No thanks. Back to Joey.
Did he even look? I don't even see if he looked.
I don't think he did. He's got ace-king of spades. If he didn't look, boy, he's going to be awfully surprised when he does. Ace-queen for Barry.
Oh, you can almost see the train coming down the tracks, can't you? He is all in.
Choo-choo, my friend, choo-choo.
And Joey makes the quick call. Only 580,000 more for Joey to call.
Okay, with how quickly he called, I'm guessing Joey did look down and see ace-king of spades.
And Barry sees that he is just crushed in this hand. He's hoping for the one live card he has, the queen, to come here on the flop Turner River.
Joey has definitely got himself ahead of steam at this final table. And here we go. The flop is 4-3-10. Nada for Barry.
No help for Barry here. Joey way ahead.
The turn is a 6, and now it's only a queen, one of the 3 remaining in the deck for Barry to win this hand.
Let's go ahead and see the river, please.
And the river is a 7. That's going to do it. Our second elimination is going to be Barry, and it happens to the guy who eliminated our first player. Joey continues to roll here at our final table, eliminating 2 players in a row. We'll return four-handed on the HPT when we come back. A lot of fun getting to meet the dogs here this week again at Daytona Beach Kennel Club and Poker Room. Let's get to our chip count here to see who's winning the race towards a $105,000 payday.
It's all Joey right now with over 5 million chips. 61% of the chips in play. The short stack right now is Troy with only 18 big blinds in his stack.
So Joey has 120 some big blinds. Is that good?
He's doing pretty okay. Yeah.
I think he's got plenty of room to sit back and enjoy the Florida sunshine.
Okay,
our chip leader peels back gap connectors here.
And he will fold, and now to Troy in the small blind.
Over to Troy.
King, queen. Nice crowd here tonight as well, watching this final table.
Troy is going to raise it up. Going to make it 80,000 to go.
And now to Tony. Pocket kings.
That hand's horrible. Fold.
Well, against king, queen, Fred, it is pretty good. Normally, in a full ring game, I'd say, yes, that hand is terrible. But in this situation, beautiful.
Well, Troy doesn't have a whole lot behind here. If he does make the play, Troy might call.
200,000 is the bet now from Tony, so 120 back to Troy.
And Troy is thinking, is this the hand? Am I going to get him all in the middle here?
You got to wonder, is Tony raising with an ace? Am I already behind? Do I really want to race it off with one of the big stacks at the table? Troy elects to fold. And Tony and we know that that was a good laydown from Troy. All right, we continue at 20 and 40,000. Enos first to go. Queen 9 to the muck. Over to Joey. King 9 on the button.
And Joey is going to do the standard min raise he's been doing all night. 80,000 is the bet.
8-6 for the small blind. That's folded. And now to Tony with Queen Jack of diamonds. And once again, the two big stacks are going to butt heads as Tony calls out of the big blind.
Tony makes the call. We got two players.
Joey's ahead going to the flop, and here it comes at 7-4 king, but more importantly, two diamonds.
Oh, this could be an action flop. Joey's got top pair. Tony's got a flush draw.
Tony checks. Here comes Joey's bet. Looks like 100,000.
Easy call for Tony to make here. I doubt he's going to re-raise it, Chris. He doesn't want to open the door for Joey to pounce on him again.
3.
Well, Tony does open the door back up. He makes it 300,000 back to Joey.
And I think Joey even called before he knew what the bet was. Joey not re-popping like he has against Troy and Barry earlier at this final table.
The turn is a deuce. So let's see what happens now. Tony's first to act.
Well, Tony raised Joey here on the flop, so he's got to be representing something. We know at home it was a semi-bluff on a draw, and now he's going to shut down, and Joey's going to oblige him with a free river card. Joey might be worried about his 9 kicker here.
Let's go ahead and see.
And the river is a 6, but more importantly, not a diamond if you're Joey.
Tony has bricked this river, but I'm telling you, I think a big bet from Tony here would win this pot.
Joey's going to check behind. He's going to show his pair of kings, and he will be scooping this large pot.
Joey checking the river. I am convinced here Joey was worried about his kicker. I think if Tony fires a huge bet on the river, he might take it down.
800,000 in the pot. What are you thinking? Like 600,000-700,000? Is that what it was going to take?
I don't know if it would have taken that much, but it would have taken a good bet.
How much would it have taken to get Joey to fold his top pair? That's what I'm wondering.
You just don't see the kid check through 2 streets like that. He definitely was worried about something.
All right, moving on to the next hand. And we're now folded around to Joey in the small blind. Joey's raising. I'm in raise. Surprise, surprise to 80K with pocket 10s. Jack 8 of diamonds for Troy.
Call.
Troy is all in. Joey makes the snap call.
By Troy and a call.
And Troy is going to see he's hoping for diamonds or a jack on this flop to give him any hope at remaining at this final table.
I'm drawing so dead. There's just no way. I've run too good for the last hour. And then they're like, they're good for like a jack flop by themselves. You can just put like...
Well, Joey's ahead, but not too confident going into the flop here.
10 of diamonds.
9, 10.
9, 10 of diamonds.
And the flop is ace, queen, ace, just 1 diamond.
Not a bad flop for Troy, actually. Now if he can pair the queen on the turn of the river, that'll counterfeit Joey's 10s. Running diamonds would make him all right. Of course, a jack would really make him all right.
And here comes the turn. It is a 7.
Not the card Troy was hoping for. He's going to be looking for a queen or a jack on the river.
Ball.
Let's go ahead and see the river.
Deuce.
And the river is a 3 of diamonds, and Joey's pocket 10s are going to hold up. That's it for Troy, and everything is going Joey's way, Fred, including all of the chips at this final table. He has eliminated all 3 players thus far.
And hats off to Troy for making it to this TV final table. Let's hear what he has to say about his final table experience.
I guess I'm satisfied that I didn't get 6th. I made one pretty huge error. Almost cost me the tournament, but a couple more knockouts and I made a little bit more money, so I'm satisfied with that. It's still anybody's game, but I'd say my bet would be probably on Joe, the amount of chips he has. Tony could certainly win. Enos could win if he gets a double up or 2, but I think Joe's probably going to win.
We've heard it said a lot of times, Fred, it's sometimes easy to pick up chips at the poker table. What truly is tough is holding on to them. When we come back next time, see if Joey can do that with this chip lead. Now, I think you've got what it takes to sit at our final table and win the unreal cash. Well, then log on to hptpoker.com to find out about our upcoming Season 8 events. For James Larson and Fred Bevel, I'm Chris Hansen. We'll see you next time right here on the HPT.